Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome to another one of our horror reviews.
Yes.
Like we said, we decided to watch all the Omen movies. So now we're on Omen 3, or as it's called, The Final Conflict.
Or sometimes both.
Or both.
It's gone by, I think, all three titles.
Yeah.
So, as this poster. But sometimes it's called Omen 3, sometimes it's called Final Conflict, sometimes it's called Omen 3, The Final Conflict. You decide. That's what we watched from 1981, the sequel to Damien Omen 2, now 20 years later, probably.
Something like that.
Damien is in his 30s and played by Sam Neill. Decided he wanted to be Sam Neill when he grew up, so that's
Right?
cool.
Sam-
Famous actor, wonderful actor. Been in
Sam
so many
Neill.
wonderful things.
Yes. He does well in evil roles.
He does. He's really good in this movie. I think he's probably the highlight of this movie, probably.
He is. So I guess let's get into the movie.
Sure.
If I remember right, this is one of my least favorite of the Omen movies.
Probably.
So I don't really retain much information when I watch it, if that makes any sense. But this one is just about him and the government. Like, he goes after children in this movie.
This one is basically fulfilling his prophecy that they talk about in the first two movies of him going into the world of politics. Because Gregory Peck in the original movie was the ambassador of...
Ambassador.
The way I said that, ambassador. The ambassador, or the ambassador of Rome. And so now he's the president. The president is... The president?
Well, he's like... He's close to the president, I know.
Yes.
I think he's the ambassador. Oh, Sam Neill is now ambassador.
Yeah.
Because the current ambassador blows his brains out at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Right?
Well. Was that the ambassador? I'm just don't remember. Like I know that happens. I was just trying to remember like who he.
I think that was the current ambassador, and
Yeah,
then that
because
means Sam Neill got promoted to
be the ambassador.
ambassador.
Yeah. So because one of the dogs come back into this movie. A dog hypnotizes the current ambassador to rig this gun around the desk in his office to the door handle to a gun that's pointed at his head and blows his brains out in front of everyone, and it's messy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a hole like right here in his face. Yeah.
Thanks for that detail.
It does. Like
It
there's
does.
a hole right here in his
But
blood
there
all
are
over the
some
wall.
pretty effed up killings
There
in this
are.
movie.
There are. And there's also one where a guy gets hung from like from the catwalk. He's like in the catwalks of like this TV report because Damien has a love interest in this movie. She's a news reporter, and I believe, and so or some sort of a journalist, news reporter woman, and she's a pretty famous actress. I can't remember her name, but she's fairly famous, I think, and she. I'm doing like this interview talking about his position, talking about him, and this one guy who knows about Damien is like trying to, I think, tamper with something, and then he ends up falling off the catwalk and hanging himself and then lighting himself on fire.
Yep.
Dramatically.
And then it leads to basically Jesus of Nazareth is born, the second coming.
The second coming of Nazareth is...
And some stars in the sky or something.
It's a constellation. They notice a constellation they haven't seen in centuries of basically a new good Lord, whatever
Prophecy.
you want, prophecy, whatever you want, I don't know, religion-wise, whatever you want to refer to it as.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yes. And
so he
Sure.
decides to kill all the babies that were born
thank you for putting it so bluntly.
on... Well, it's true.
Yeah, he murders
that were
children.
born on that date. So
Yes.
him and his disciples set out to
Yes.
kill all these
Oh yeah, if you do not
children.
like, if you have a problem with children violence, don't watch this movie. Just don't.
Yeah,
There's-
baby violence.
Like newborn, supposedly, they're supposed to be newborn children, are just being murdered.
Yeah.
One gets in the way of a car and gets hit. One gets killed off screen with an iron. One gets killed when these two kids that are like Satanists come into this woman's house to offer some help, and they don't show what happens, but they do away with the baby. There's a nurse that kills one of the babies in the hospital as it's being born, I believe. Just all sorts of violence.
All sorts of violence, yeah.
Towards children.
Towards children.
And newborns. It's really messed up.
But long story short...
because that comes after all these people. All these people are basically in league with Damien and want to help him become the new ruler of the.
Yeah.
Well, he is an Antichrist, but
Well,
basically ruler of the world. Like he wants to basically rule the world, and so they're all in this cult, and there's a nurse that's in on it. There's all these different people of all different places that are in on this, so they start to help him do that. That's why they end up dying. And then some of them get possessed. Some of these mothers get possessed by certain things to kill their own children, or sometimes accidents happen, freak accidents, and then the kids die. So,
yeah. But the reporter kind of falls in love with him.
Kind of.
Well, yeah.
She falls in love with him, not knowing who he is, and then...
Well, yeah, while she knows who he is.
Well...
Well, not the first part.
She doesn't really know. She finds out later.
She does find out later, but she sleeps with him after that, though.
Did she sleep with him after? I thought it was before.
She slept with him after she found out from the priest.
I think, but did she believe it yet? I don't know. Maybe
she didn't believe it yet. I don't think.
Because I think he told her, but she probably didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And then they had some intimacy, and then she gets bruises all over her body. The next day, she's just claw marks, scratch marks all over her body, bruises.
But yeah, leading up to the end, she finds out that her own son is a disciple of...
Not even a disciple,
Damien.
It's more like Damien kind of tricked him into becoming a disciple.
Yeah,
it's Damien almost messed with him to become his assistant.
Yeah.
So he made him into a disciple, but he wasn't a disciple originally.
But a priest ends up giving her the daggers from the first two films. And she stabs him
with one.
With one. Only one, though.
With one dagger.
With one dagger,
and then
dies.
He falls, and he's like, "You haven't won the Nazareth," or whatever. He says something like that, and then this image of a, I don't know,
Jesus appears.
Jesus, yeah, sure, whatever.
Or an angel.
It's almost an angel, whatever, appears, and then and then it ends basically. But yeah, this one, I don't know. This one was kind of anticlimactic. It wasn't.
Very anticlimactic.
And it's good because evil fails, and it's also bad because evil fails.
I don't know.
I feel so torn about how, it ends, because I think in one way it's good because it ends with the good winning, good energy winning, but, also so much messed up stuff happens in the movie that doesn't really redeem that, and then at the same time you're kind of watching the horror movie to kind of see the evils kind of work their way up, and I don't know how I feel about the ending. It's good and it's not, and I kind of like this movie, but I don't like this one nearly as much as the other ones.
Exactly.
It's good. The performances are pretty solid from the two main characters, Damien and then the woman who plays the love interest, are pretty solid performances. But story-wise, I don't know. So I gave this one 3 stars. You can check it out if you want to, but
on Hulu.
But it does not end here because Damien has a daughter, and that's in the next one. And we'll get into that later. So, like and follow for more, and we'll see you next video.
Yeah.
It's not over.